All right, good morning. My name is Jimmy.
I'm Ryan.
And we're from the Hudson Valley Community College Automotive Department. This morning we're going to talk to you about trying to diagnose the problem if your car cranks but doesn't start. A couple things we want to talk about before you get started. Make sure that you're wearing your eye protection. Make sure that you're keeping your hands free of the belts or anything that could shock you or hurt you. General awareness is always a useful tool. The three things that we need to start a car is going to be our fuel, our air, and our spark. If you're missing one of them, you're going to have issues getting her started. Before we go into talking about spark, the first thing that you want to check, obviously, is that your battery is good. You're going to want to look for something around 12.6 volts. Make sure that these connections are nice and tight. You can hook up your voltmeter if you got one. Just double check that that's working before you get started in this diagnostic process.
So after you check for a full charge in the battery, which is around 12.6 volts or very close, you're going to want to test each of your fuses. So go around and just hit them with a test light and make sure they light up. Like so. After you've checked all your fuses, you're going to want to go straight to your coils. Make sure each one of your coil harnesses are plugged into the coil, and make sure none of the wires are severed or torn or anything like that. So after you've made sure all that stuff is good, you're going to want to hook up your spark plug tester. It plugs right into the end of the coil like that, like a spark plug. And you're going to need to ground it to get the spark to travel through. And what you're going to want to do is crank the vehicle over with the fuel pump relay out of it, and make sure that you got spark in every one of your coils.
Alright, so the next thing that we're going to talk about in our video here is fuel, making sure that you're getting fuel to your cylinders so you can start your engine. The first thing that you want to listen for, and it helps if you have a partner to do this, is your fuel pump. When you turn your key to the on position, you're going to hear a high-pitched whine coming from the gas tank. That's going to be your fuel pump. If you don't hear that, chances are that your fuel pump is probably compromised and you need to take care of that problem. Alright, so after you check your fuel pump and make sure that it's functioning properly, the next thing that you're going to want to check is your Schrader valve on your fuel rail. After the fuel pump pressurizes the fuel, it's going to come up to the rail and it's going to go to the injectors from there. And what your Schrader valve is going to look like is this little thing right here. It's a little round shape, a little tit in the middle. When your fuel is pressurized and you push on that Schrader valve with a pen or a screwdriver, something like that, you should get pressurized fuel spraying out of it, indicating that you do indeed have fuel that's going to make it through the injectors into the cylinders.
So the last thing you're going to want to check for is air, because like humans, cars need to breathe as well. So you're going to want to go around and check all your vacuum hoses and make sure they're connected, because if they're not, they'll cause the engine to idle roughly or possibly not even start. The last thing you're going to want to do to check air is stick your hand right over the throttle plate, like so. And what you're looking for is some really good suction out of the intake. And so what you're going to want to do is have a partner with you to crank the engine over while you're feeling to see if it's sucking. And as you can see, that's pulling a pretty good vacuum, and that means that you don't have a jump timing chain or a broken timing belt generally, and the engine should run.
Alright, so after you perform these basic tests with your fuel, air, and spark, hopefully your vehicle is running and back on the road. If not, you got to understand that these are just some basic tests to try and help you out. If they didn't work though, you might need some professional assistance to do some more advanced diagnostics to get you back on the road. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Ryan.
And we're from Hudson Valley Automotive.
See you later.